JHK here for Sportskeeda, and joining me right now is UFC light heavyweight Dustin Jacoby. He's out there. He's with his dog, walking it. What's going on, man? Multitasking.
Yeah, what's up, brother? No, just out enjoying a nice little walk this evening. Figured I'd take the dog with me. Had our little Skype interview on hand, so I figured I'd get out and about and just enjoy some fresh air.
For sure, man. For sure. I appreciate it. And I saw that it's been a little over a year now since you won the Contender Series contract. 3 fights in, you're undefeated. From your point of view, what has the last 12 months been like for you?
Yeah, it's moved fast, man. It's been a lot of hard work, a lot of time, a lot of sacrifice and commitment, but everything's paying off. I've been doing this professionally for 10 years now. This will be my 11th year, so it's kind of business as usual. But of course, being at the pinnacle of the sport is always nice, and then having success as well is something that's really nice. And looking to go out there and have some more success on August 28th against Darren Stewart.
For sure. And any fighters on the team fighting on this season's Contender Series is coming up again?
Yeah, so I know for sure we have Cody Brundage, a teammate of mine. He's back on the Contender Series October 6th, I believe. So he's doing it for sure, and that's the only one that I know of right now.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm glad Cody's getting another shot, man. He's a guy that's very talented.
Yeah, for sure, man. He's super talented. One of my main training partners, a really, really strong kid, strong wrestler, and he's been giving me a good look, emulating Darren Stewart. So, one of the main guys to go with every single day.
All right. Well, that's, synergy right there, man, getting ready for each other's fights. Now, let's get into your last outing, man, against Hyon Ko. The first thing I want to get into is the face-off, when he grabbed you by the neck. What was in your mind, man, when you knew something was going to happen, right? But did you feel like he was going to touch you, though?
Yeah, I knew something was going to happen, man. I think that it was a spur of the moment type thing for him. I think that, he always gets up in his opponent's face. He always yells, hoots and hollers, and does whatever he has to do. And I think it was one of those things. I never put my hands up, and I put my hands up, and I kept that space. I kept that zone to where he couldn't enter into my space or my zone. And I think that threw him off, man. And he got pissed and wanted a reaction and just, reached and grabbed my neck and tried snatching me up. And of course, I don't know if you caught it. I had a nice perfect frame with the elbow. I was cocked, ready to load, had to throw him off a little bit. But I don't like that, man. Weigh-ins are cool. It gets the crowd going. It gets the people more interested in the fight. But, man, you saw what happened just right before me with that Jeremy Stevens and that Klaus guy. I mean, I was one of the guys that was like, dude, that's crazy. Like, I can't believe Klaus isn't fighting. And then after going through something similar myself, I could totally see it. Like, my back was tight. My neck was kind of messed up a little bit. So I just don't think I think you should get fined if you touch somebody at weigh-ins.
Jeremy Stevens in Jakar Close situation is a terrible situation because Close hasn't fought since then, man. And he has concussion symptoms. That's crazy.
That is crazy, man. Like I said, I was one of the guys that was like, man, how is this guy not fighting? He just got shoved. Mm-hmm. You're standing there and you don't expect that at all. He had his hands behind his back. And you go up and just shove somebody that's not expecting it, man. I could totally see how he was messed up from that.
Yeah, definitely. And Stevens doesn't seem to have too much remorse for that, man. And I would think from a fighter to a fighter, you would understand more than anybody.
Right, man. He's a savage, man, as they say, Stevens. I just don't. I mean, I like Jeremy Stevens as a fighter. It is what it is, man. I just don't think that's appropriate. I think you should keep your hands to yourself, man.
For sure. Now let's get into the actual fight. It ended as a draw. The scorecards were all over the place. One judge scored the first round at 10-8. Another judge scored the third round for Kutalaba. What was your take on the judging, man, that night?
Well, dude, it's not just that night. It's every single time we watch an MMA card. There's always an issue with the fights, man. And we have to get this under control. The judges are messing with our livelihood, especially when we're getting one paycheck to fight, one paycheck to win. And then you got a judge in there giving that first round a 10-8 round. Are you kidding me? I mean, for 2 minutes of the round, we were exchanging blows. I was jabbing him anytime I wanted. I threw a couple hard low kicks. And then, yeah, he took me down and controlled me for a couple minutes, and then, started landing some shots there at the end of that. But if you go to the very end of the round, I was up and throwing a knee at him, fighting back. So for that to be a 10-8 round is just ludicrous, man. And then one of the judges, a different judge that gave it a 10-8 round, saw the fight differently, gave the second round to Kuntalaba when that was arguably like my best round. With the most significant strikes. And it's crazy, man. I think that we need to potentially go to 5 judges, and I would have them be ex-fighters, people that have competed before, whether in the UFC or just in general professionally, to have a certain number of fights, right? And maybe that will help with some of the judging, but at least have some guys that are experienced in there that have been through it before. Hey, Dak, receive it, buddy. Come on.
Some action, some dog action. Huh?
Yeah.
Now, last weekend, I believe it was that Green Fiziev fight. One of the judges gave all 3 rounds to Fiziev, right? But clearly the third round, Green won. Everybody knows that. But then the judge comes out
right
and writes an explanation for it, and then just gets blasted by everybody. People are saying that he doesn't even understand the judging criteria. Like, he's not even scoring fights under the judging criteria. I think that that's a good step in the right direction, though. Don't you think that the judges are actually coming out and trying to explain their decisions?
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, it still doesn't do it justice for the ultimate decision. I think something has to change. We have to hold these guys accountable some way, or make them go through some type of schooling all over again, man. But every single time we watch an MMA card, we see this happening. So something's got to change, man. We got to hold these guys accountable.
Turning to some more positive, you're returning August 28th. Your original opponent was Askar Mazarov. He was pulled. What happened with that fight?
He failed his first USADA test, I believe.
Oh, really?
He either fell. Yeah, he had his first. I mean, look at the guy. I knew that when I was looking at him. But yeah, I think he not only he took the test and failed, but he admitted to it. I don't think he tried hiding anything. I think that he disclosed on his sheet that, hey, I was taking this, and he's like, well, you still got to piss, and of course he tested positive and had to be out. So that's one good thing about the testing pool, man. As soon as I saw that guy, I was like, dude, this guy's for sure juicing. Whether he has or is currently, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind he had. And sure enough, man, the test prevailed.
Man, that's a trip, man, that he disclosed it, still took the test.
Well, yeah, because I think, when they come knocking on your door and it's a surprise visit, and he's like, oh, man, I didn't know this. Or maybe, he got signed by the UFC and too soon and wasn't out of the system or whatnot. I mean, you're better off being like, yeah, this is what I have, than trying to deny it, because it's going to show up,
Well, they come back with a better name, Darren Stewart. What was your reaction when they said, hey, you got Stewart, man. He's going to take the spot. You're going to fight him.
Oh, I absolutely love the matchup, man. I think it's a great fight for me. I've been fighting bigger guys here lately. In this matchup, I get to fight a guy that's coming up for 185, so it's not like he's going to be a big 205er. I think I'm going to have height on him. I think I'm going to have reach on him. I have overall experience on him. He has more UFC fights than me, but overall mixed martial arts experience and combat experience, I have more experience than him. And I just think I'm better all around, man. And where I'm at mentally and physically, I think it's going to show in this fight. And yeah, man, I'm going out to make a statement. I think that this is just a very favorable matchup for me, and I got to go out and prove that prove I'm right.
Are you still kind of pissed a little bit from the Kuntalaba fight, man? That how it all played out and what Kuntalaba did in the face-offs and all of that stuff?
Yeah, you know what? I'm over that, honestly. Like, it does piss me off from the financial standpoint when it's a fight that I thought I won that fight more decisively than the Max Grishin fight. I thought the Max Grishin fight was a little bit more close, and this one, I was like, I came back round 2 and 3, and if the fight was a 5-round fight, I would have finished that guy. I was showing more heart. I was showing that I wasn't done, and he was done. And there's 2 people that met in the center of the octagon that night, him and I. And after the fight, he grabbed me and said, "Hey, man," he's like, "you won that fight." He said that to me inside of that octagon. So there's 2 people that know, and that's how I've lived my whole career, man. Is even in fights that I lost, people are like, "Oh, you're gonna keep going." I'm like, dude, I may have lost. Like some fights, I didn't lose. The judges told me I lost. In my mind, like it was a good fight. It was good back and forth battle. Maybe I didn't do enough to win, but I'm the one that went through that, right? So it's to me, it's I don't look at it as a loss, and that's how I am with Kuntalaba. I'm the one that went through that war, and to me, him and I both know he won that fight. So I'm over it from that point. What I'm not is just the financial aspect, man. I got a new contract, and the other half of that money is huge, and to not get that is, a big. It is what it is, man. It didn't happen, but that's why I'm out here to. I get another opportunity with Darren Stewart, and I can right all my wrongs. And again, with that fight, man, I took that fight on like 10 days notice, and it was straight from Mexico. I was in Mexico on a 7-day vacation, drinking tequila every day, man, soaking up the sun and hanging out, having fun. So to know that he was training for that fight since February and grinding every day, and to know, I just came off the couch and, in Mexico to come fight him and ultimately beat him, in my opinion, that tells me where I'm at. And I'm excited for this one, man, because I've been grinding this summer. I've been training hard, and it's going to show in this fight.
You mentioned the size factor earlier, right? I think that's going to be a huge narrative. The commentator is going to talk about it. What do you think will allow you to? Oh, that's a beautiful, beautiful scene, man, right there. And what
Man,
do you think?
it'd be so much better if
What?
there's all these forest fires that are making everything hazy, mainly from California coming into Colorado. So, man, normally you can see the foothills and the mountains right there, but yeah, it's all hazy. So, but go ahead. I figured I'd show you one of my favorite views on my walk.
All right, all right. I like it. I like it. Now, yeah, with the size, factor, like you said, you're gonna be the longer, taller guy, and being such a well-versed striker, man. Do you feel like you can go in there and pretty much implement any kind of game plan that you want on the feet, especially?
Yeah, yeah, on the feet especially. But I'll tell you what, man, I've been grinding with, like I said, with Cody. He's a phenomenal wrestler. He's a strong wrestler. And he's been having trouble getting me down, man. And when he does, my submission's been coming along. I feel like I can just show my overall game in this fight. I feel like I'm superior everywhere. And I'm not talking shit, man. Darren Stewart's a tough good kid. He's tough as nails, man. He's from East London. I know he's tough, but I've fought guys all over the world, man. I've fought these foreign guys. I've fought these tough guys. And I've just been through it to get to it, man. I'm looking for the scrap. I feel like I'm better everywhere. I mean, if he tries taking me down, I might mess around and submit him, or I just might go with the flow and just control him on top. I don't know, man. I feel like I can go anywhere I want this fight. Obviously, I'm a superior striker and good stand-up skills, so the fight starts on his feet. I'm gonna go in trying to take him out from the opening bell, man.
I feel a different vibe heading into this fight from you because usually you tell me like, dude, I'm gonna go in there and knock this dude clean out, but this time you're like, man, I might even go for the submission this time. So it's a different vibe.
I just, man, I tell you what, I just feel really good about what I've been doing this summer, where I'm at in camp. My body feels great. I don't have any issues right now, and I just feel really good, man. I feel like a lot of people forget, man. I was a professional kickboxer from 2013 to 2019. So and I was chasing a world title for Glory. So the big part of that, those years, man, I wasn't doing any jujitsu or any groundwork. I was primarily focusing on kickboxing. So now that I've been doing that since, like March of, or like 2019, beginning of 2019. Yeah, I've been like March 2019. So I've been on it for a couple of years now, really working my ground, and I just feel really comfortable, man. I know, every fight starts on his feet, and I'm definitely a stand-up, till I go down, man. So, but I'm just really comfortable with where I'm at in every aspect of the game.
All right, man. Before I let you go, a couple topics that I want to pick your brain about. Light heavyweight division.
Yeah.
The title fight is coming up. UFC 267. Jan Blachowicz versus Glover Teixeira. What is your breakdown of that fight? Because I feel like these guys could end up standing up and banging with each other. You know what I mean? Because they both have great power. What do you see, and who do you see getting that belt wrapped around their waist?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I feel like we have it. I feel like the light heavyweight division is kind of like non-existent right now. Just you watch these cars here recently. I'm like, where's all the big guys? Where are all the light heavyweights? They haven't been showing them much. But that fight, man, you got two big dudes who are extremely durable. And Glover's kind of found some resurgence in his career. There was a point where, I was watching him. I was like, man, this guy, he doesn't have too much more left in him. and out of nowhere, man, he just comes back, and now here he is fighting for the title in a fight that I could really see him winning. I think he's big, he's extremely strong. I'd hate for that guy to get his hands on me, man. I bet he's just strong as an ox. He's got good striking, and I think that if he gets his hands on John Hyon, that he's going to take him down and maybe finish it there, man. But it's a good fight. I feel like the division's wide open. I got to go in there and get a few good wins and creep up to that top 10.
Exactly, man. And supposedly Yuri Prohaska, he's gonna play the safety belt just in case one of these guys have to pull out or get injured or something, slip on a banana peel. What is your take on a fighter, as a backup to a title fight?
I think that's pretty cool by the UFC, man, because I think like what they did with Chandler is they paid him to be in shape. It's like he was in camp. It's like he was going to take that fight. They paid him to make sure he's there and on weight and on the scale. So, heck, man, that's a good opportunity for the fighters. It's like we have a job, right? And now it's like we have a purpose. We have something to fulfill the obligation of being ready, and being held accountable and getting paid for it. So I think that's really cool. I really like that Jury guy, man. I think he's a great fighter, extremely unorthodox. You can tell he works really hard, and who knows, man? Maybe a scrap with him sometime in the future once we get a little more up the ranks. But I've got my eyes on him. He's a good prospect in the division.
Proska, like you said, he's a good fighter. There's a lot of hype behind him, and do you think he'll eventually become the champion, or do you think he's too reckless?
Yeah, man, it's hard telling. He's definitely got one of those going out on a shield type styles where he comes from all different angles. But now, when you do that, you can walk into stuff and get caught as well. So, I don't know, man. I think he's got the skills for sure. He's got the heart, the passion, the dedication. It's just is the timing right, and will it unfold for him or perhaps myself? You never know, man. It's wide open. I think we've said this before. With John Jones gone, man, it feels like anything's possible.
The whole Conor McGregor Daniel Cormier beef. Have you been following that, or do you not even care?
You know what? I really haven't been following that, but I'm guessing it's from what McGregor said about Habib's father.
No, it stems from the criticism of his commentary, I believe, and then like him drinking beers and I guess accusing Cormier of being drunk during media obligations. Just I don't know. It's
really
a lot
okay.
of tweet and deletes.
I have not been following too much, man. I know McGregor. He's I think he's kind of just not at a crossroads, but he's in a tough time where he's still the man. He's still cashing big checks, he's still doing it, but things are a lot sweeter when you're winning, and you're tasting victory. And I think he's just, he's had a few unfortunate things not go his way. And maybe, like Poirier said, man, karma isn't a bitch. Maybe karma is like what you see in the mirror, who knows, man? I think McGregor, though, is just not in a great spot right now mentally. And I'm sure, with the injury, that doesn't help. A guy that feels invincible being injured like that, it's like, oh, man, it takes away some of that invincibility. So I think there's a few tweets that he's had out there that he's ended up deleting and just not in a good spot mentally, I don't think. But like I said, maybe life-wise, guy's crushing it. He can never do another thing as long as he lives, man, and still be better off than 90% of the world. So hopefully he gets it together, man. I'm a McGregor fan still. I enjoy watching him. I enjoy, him as a person, watching him succeed and watching him splurge a little bit too, man. I can live a little bit through him watching that Lamborghini yacht pull off in the distance.
For sure. Well, man, like you said, the light heavyweight division is wide open. You get your chance. One more time, August 28th, UFC Fight Night, Las Vegas. Thank you, Dustin, so much for the time, man. Enjoy the view. I know it's not the best view, like you said. The fires are coming in, but hey, It is what it is. You got to take advantage of what you got, right?
It's still a view, man. I'm thankful for where I live here in Denver and just this life, man. Life's good right now, and I'm so excited to go out there and tear up that the card August 28th and just continue climbing the ladder.